What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we're going to utilize the double fairy backline again. Yesterday I had a lot of fun with Camerupt on the lead, but Camerupt was honestly a hindrance to my team. I just wanted to try it out because it was super spicy, but I think there's better options. And today we're going to try Drapeon with Tapu Fini and Azumarill. Tapu Fini, again, you can only get under 1500 combat power if you trade with someone else, and it goes below. That's how you guys get it. Alright, getting into the first battle here. This team is a lot of fun to use. We are going to be facing off against a lot of Nidoqueens today as well, but we have Drapeon on the lead versus Defense Form Deoxys. Somewhat of a neutral matchup right here. I really like it for me though, considering Defense Form Deoxys with Thunderbolt is a kind of nuisance to my backline, and they swap into a Shadow Drapeon. So this is going to be pretty annoying because Drapeon completely core breaks my backline right here. So we do get the defense drop, which is huge. And what I'm hoping I can do is catch a crunch, if I can, on Tapu Fini. Now we do land both crunches right there, so they're going to go ahead and throw the first one. And what we're going to look to do again is catch the crunch. Let's see if we can pull it off. I'm going to go ahead and swap. Nope, I don't get it, but they are loading up on energy and they don't get to the Sludge Bomb in time, so we are able to water gun down, and we do see Defense Form Deoxys come back in. Now, they likely do have Thunderbolt. Most Defense Form Deoxys do, so I'm going to go ahead and shield. I really want to put some more pressure with water gun right here. As you guys can see, it's really starting to add up, and I should be able to get to 2 surfs in time, which will definitely put shield pressure here on the Defense Form Deoxys. I still have a decent amount of energy on Drapeon as well, so we do get to the second one, and this is where we can force that shield and let Tapu Fini go down to the Thunderbolt if they do decide to throw it. So we do get the shield. This is perfect right now. They're definitely low enough where we can come in with Drapeon and really load up on energy. So I'm going to go ahead and let the Thunderbolt go through. Boom! The Tapu Fini goes down. We're going to bring in that Drapeon, and they swap into a Wall Rain. So we're going to go ahead and go for the crunch here, and then our goal is to try to catch the Icicle Spear on our Azumarill because we are low enough where they should be throwing it. So we're going to go ahead and swap on 5, and we do catch it right there, which is perfect. This is going to do like no damage to Azumarill, and that is looking to be a good game. Very well played as they do decide to surrender right there. Alright, moving into game 2. We have Drapeon on the lead versus Nidoqueen. Okay, so Nidoqueen on the lead is obviously very good for us considering our backline, so we're going to need to apply as much pressure as we can with these crunches, and we're also going to need to shield the Earth Power successfully. That's the huge problem with Nidoqueen, is its ability to potentially land Earth Power and bait with Poison Fang. So we're going to go ahead and shield the first one right here. I've already got it to 50% HP, and it was in fact the Earth Power. That's a huge shield for us on the lead, and we do see them swap into Scrafty, and I pulled the trigger on Crunch right as they swap. So that's a good swap by them to catch this charge move, but ultimately we're just going to go ahead and load back up and then swap into Tapu Fini right here and just go for Surfs. Now, even though we are a fairy type Pokemon here, Counter and Foul Play are still gonna add up. Tapu Fini is not as bulky. Could I have come in with the Azumarill? Yeah, probably, but I really wanted to come out on the other side with Water Gun and a Surf for the Nidoqueen that will likely come back in. So as you guys see, that Foul Play still does a respectable amount of damage. Now we're gonna build up to 2 Surfs right here and go ahead and throw it. If they decide to let this go through, we should be able to farm down with Water Gun, and they do, so we are going to be able to farm down. Now the Nidoqueen coming back in, exactly why I wanted to bring Tapu Fini into that matchup is because Surf does super effective damage. Yes, Ice Beam does from Azumarill as well, but Tapu Fini is low enough where they don't get too much energy right here. So we do have a crunch loaded, so we're going to go ahead and throw that right away. Again, putting huge shield pressure, get that final shield out of the way, as I think there is going to be another Dark-type Pokemon in the back. They do decide to shield as well, so we will mirror the shield right here to stop that Earth Power if it is. It's likely going to be a shield bait, though, as it is just a Poison Fang. I wasn't really counting right there successfully, but or maybe they did build up to the Earth Power, but we're just going to go ahead and throw this crunch, take out the Nidoqueen, and the final Pokemon is going to be Sableye, so we will swap into Azumarill. So it's kind of interesting that they use Scrafty. I think they might have misclicked right there. That would make sense. Sableye would be a better safe swap, but either way, good game to my opponent. All right, we got Drapeon on the lead versus Shadow, Alolan, and Marowak. So we have 3 answers for this thing, which is always great. And we will likely see them swap out on the Crunch, which they do, and they catch it on a Wigglytuff. So that's a huge catch on them. I shouldn't have thrown it right away. So what we're going to do is stay in and go for the Sludge Bomb right here to force that shield. Then we will come in with the Tapu Fini and Water Gun down. As Sludge Bomb will one-shot shot, a Wigglytuff, so they will have to shield. So we do get that shield. We're going to come back in with the Tapu Fini, and we are just going to farm down with Water Gun. Now, we're going to have to give up a shield ourselves to the potential Play Rough right here. But coming out of here with a Moonblast with loaded energy is definitely going to be pretty big for us, as we will be able to apply a lot of shield pressure on the back end. So let's see what they decide to come in with. It's going to be the Medicham. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Surf first. Hopefully this does get a shield from our opponent, and it does. That's huge. All right, Tapu Fini, show us what you're working with here with the Moonblast, and we get to it in time. Is this gonna one-shot the first boom with the Tapu Fini of the video? Boom! One-shots the Medicham, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played, as we still have Drapeon, and we still have a Azumarill, and we still have a shield. So they made a really great swap there, catching the Crunch. Well, kudos to them on that, but ultimately my backline really handles their team. So we are going to go ahead and shield right here and then throw the Crunch to close this game out. So good game, very well played to my opponent, but I've been really loving the double water fairy in the back. It's been pretty fun to use, and Drapeon's definitely a much better option than the Camerupt was. Alright, moving to the next game, we have Drapeon on the lead versus Obstagoon. Okay, so not a good lead matchup for us. We're going to swap out right away into a Azumarill, and they are loading up on energy. I'm like, here comes a Gunk Shot. They're just going to throw it. No, they swap on the charge move, trying to catch the Play Rough, which is a really good call on them, but ultimately my Azumarill right here is going to be able to get off 2 Ice Beams now versus the Nidoqueen, and we did draw it out versus Azumarill. This is what you ideally want to have. If you're going to face a Nidoqueen on the back line, have it face off against the Azumarill in the mid game with energy advantage. That way you can get to, or potentially get to, 2 Ice Beams, forcing 2 shields from our opponent, or they decide to let it go, which is fine by me. I'm going to go ahead and try to bubble them down, but I don't get it in time. So we're going to have to come in with Drapeon, and we will have to shield the charge move right here, as it likely could be the Earth Power. And also, this is what's going to be annoying, is I can't Poison Sting down. I'm not doing enough damage, so I got to come in with the Tapu Fini and quick tap it down, having enough energy on Drapeon right there to potentially handle the Obstagoon in the back. So they do decide to bring in a Skarmory, so we'll have to see. They decide to throw the Sky Attack, so I'm actually going to give up a shield right here. Water Gun damage has to be respected, and I should be able to get to 2 Surfs in time. So we're going to go ahead and throw the first Surf right here. This is going to force a shield here from our opponent. Otherwise, we're going to be able to take it out because we got a second one ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and throw it. Now, that was a bad timing on my end, as they did get a Air Slash through. But we do take out the Skarmory. Okay, they decide not to shield. They're going to trust an Obstagoon to close this game out, and maybe they want to boom me with Gunk Shot or Hyper Beam right here. So be it. I will boom myself since you risked it for the biscuit. Boom! They take out my Tapu Fini, but Drapeon right here has Sludge Bomb ready to go. All we need is 2 in order to take out the Obstagoon, as the first one is going to be Night Slash. Doesn't do too much damage, and no boost on their end as well. That would have been really unfortunate if they did get the boost. But this first Sludge Bomb is going to be forcing the shield, and then we should be able to get to a second one in time, as this next Night Slash is not going to do enough damage because we do resist it because of our dark typing right here. So that is looking to be a good game, very well played. You got to love the Gunk Shot boom that they did throw on my Tapu Fini, but ultimately it's game over. So good battle right there. All right, moving into the next one. We have Drapeon on the lead versus Scrafty. Okay, another Dark-type Pokemon on the lead, which is really tough, so we're going to go ahead and swap into that Azumarill, and they bring in the Nidoqueen this time. This Nidoqueen came in a bit quicker, obviously. In the last match, the Obstagoon built up a lot of energy, then swapped. So this time we may not be able to get to 2 Ice Beams. There's the first one. We're going to try to see if we can get to the second one in time. We can't give up any shields as well because they're just going to farm. They're winning this mid-game matchup anyways, so we might as well get an advantage, and shield advantage is always a bonus. 2 shields and health, or 1 shield and health, or 2 shields is always huge. So now we're in a very tough situation right here. We're going to have to come in with Drapeon and successfully shield the Earth Power. That's the very dangerous thing. So we're going to shield this first one. If it's Poison Fang, so be it, but it was the Earth Power. That's huge. Now we can load up on some energy right here and just go for the crunch. I should have loaded a little bit more, but that's okay. So hopefully they decide to no shield. Yeah, they decided to no shield. We're going to see that Scrafty come back in, and we're going to go into the Tapu Fini right away, hoping that that was the only poison type Pokemon. We swap into Tapu Fini, and they're still there. Okay, nope, they swapped into Golbat now, so obviously this is gonna hurt. Golbat has Poison Fang as well, but thankfully Surf does do a lot of neutral damage. This is where Tapu Fini with Ice Beam would have been clutch. If we just one-shot it right there that they weren't prepared for. But we're going to go ahead and no-shield the Poison Fang. As again, like the last match we saw with Obstagoon, if I can get to this Surf and take out the Golbat, we might be able to double Sludge Bomb the Scrafty in time. So they do decide to let the Golbat go down. So they're going to load up on a lot of energy right here. But that Water Gun damage, I think, is just enough where Sludge Bomb might be able to KO. Now, they're obviously just going to go ahead and throw straight power-up punches right here. So you never want to shield that first one because it's like the third or fourth one that you're going to want to shield. Second one, we don't want to shield as well. It's going to be that third one that we're going to need to shield. Now, I don't know if I can make it to a Sludge Bomb and a Crunch in time. Looking at my health, here's the third one we're going to go ahead and shield. So my win condition is to throw a Crunch right here. Actually, I might have been able to make it, but my win condition is to throw a Crunch that they shield, and then I get a Sludge Bomb off, and they call it. They no-shield it. I could have just won. I could have just won by throwing the Sludge Bomb. That is so unfortunate. Good call and good game to my opponent right there. All right. We got Drapeon versus Lapras on the lead. Now, I want to try to catch a Surf if I can on Azumarill, but this is actually a Water Gun Lapras, so my Surf counting is out of the window. If it was Ice Shard, it would have been 4 Ice Shards to Surf, which is super easy to count. But what we're going to do here is throw a first Crunch, and we're going to shield ourselves. And notice that, okay, the Surf came in. Basically a little bit after, if we look at our energy, a little bit into the next Crunch. So we're going to go ahead and load up, throw the Crunch right here. We're going to try to do one more Poison Sting, one more fast move after this, and swap into a Azumarill to catch it. So we're going to go ahead and do one and swap. Nope, they held the energy, and they're building up to that Skull Bash. You can just see them desperately trying to get to the Skull Bash in time, and they do get it. But thankfully, Azumarill is extremely tanky and can hold on right here, which is perfectly fine. Now, we don't know what they have in the back, but we have Azumarill, loaded energy, and it's actually going to be a Alolan Marowak in the back. So this is where Hydro Pump would always come in clutch. I find that in situations when I need the Hydro Pump, I never have it. And when I need like the Ice Beam or Play Rough, I never have it. So I just stick with Ice Beam and Play Rough as my moveset, especially since I'm safe swapping. So we can do a lot of damage to Nidoqueens and Venusaurs and whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and go for one more Ice Beam right here, as we did hang on from the Shadow Bone, just to do as much chip damage as possible. And they do farm us down. So I don't know what they have in the back, but my guess is going to be Sableye. Lapras, Alolan Marowak, Sableye is like a different formation to the Azumarill team squad. So we're going to go ahead and let this Bone Club go through. We're going to save our shields for Tapu Fini. We're going to try to get to this Crunch, and they swap into Obstagoon. So this is where Sludge Bomb is going to force that shield for us, and then it's going to be up to Tapu Fini to close this game out. And ultimately, it's going to be up to us to call the Gunk Shot if they have it. We're going to go ahead and go for the Surf here to apply that pressure to the final shield. If they decide to let it go, we should be able to fully farm down, and they do, so that's fine by me. Now, is this Gunk Shot? They built up to 10. I'm going to go ahead and shield. And it was! Oh my goodness, that's a huge shield. That is unfortunate for them. That was their last chance. We are going to be able to farm down right here. Alolan Marowak is going to come in, but it's extremely low where a Shadow Bone won't even take us out, as we do farm them down. And good game, very well played. I love the risk it for the biscuit, going for the Hail Mary Gunk Shot, but ultimately I had to call it, and I shielded successfully. Alright, so we got Venusaur on the lead. This is where you want to see it. Now, Venusaur teams typically have Galarian Stunfisk in the back, and then the third Pokemon varies quite a bit. It could be Sableye, it could be Pelipper, it could be Defense Form Deoxys. There's a lot of options that typically run there, but ultimately we want to take out the Venusaur with our Drapeon or get massive shield advantage. So we go for the Sludge Bomb first, as it's going to do the most damage, and they're likely not going to be shielding, and we do get to the Crunch in time. This is where shields are going to start coming out on their side. And we also don't want to let the Venusaur stay alive. So we're going to have to shield ourselves. These Frenzy Plants hurt, as you guys have seen. So we're going to have to shield the Frenzy Plant here, because we're going to win the race to the next Crunch. And if we get it, which we do, if they let it go, we're going to swap straight into Azumarill right away because Venusaur is likely the only counter on the team, and they do let it go. So we're quick swap into the Azumarill blind swap, and it's going to be a Stunfisk in the back. So successfully called Pokemon number 2. It's a very common core that you guys are going to see. It's really strong. I think who made it? FP Sticks made it like back in like season 6 or something, or season 4. But ultimately right here, Azumarill is going to put a lot of pressure now with Bubbles and Ice Beams. We have to make sure we build up to a potential Hydro Pump in case they call that, and they do. So they're going to go ahead and shield, which is huge for us. This gives a lot more wiggle room for Tapu Fini. And the final Pokemon, it could be a number of things, but ultimately with Venusaur gone, Tapu Fini is going to have a lot of great neutral matchups, especially with a shield and a lot of energy. So we're going to no-shield the Earthquake right here. It does take out the Azumarill. We're going to come in with Tapu Fini and just load up on energy. Now, I'm going to call that this is a Rock Slide, but it's not. It's an Earthquake. Oh, that's so much damage. And actually, it's a Sableye in the back, so it ultimately doesn't matter. We're going to be able to get to the Moonblast in time, so that's a really good read on my side. And this Moonblast, again, Tapu Fini booms. Boom! One-shots the Sableye, and the Galarian Stunfisk will go down, so that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. I believe that was the final one. Yeah, that was the final battle. Had a really nice couple sets here. Couple 3-2s, couple 4-1s with this team. Super fun to use. Tapu Fini and Azumarill backline. It struggles against, you know, double poison if they maybe had a Skuntank and a Nidoqueen, but that's really not too common. I've seen far too many double darks in the back where this team is just kind of clearing through them. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys don't have Drapeon and you guys want to try other stuff, you need something to counter basically poison type Pokemon and grass type Pokemon. Those are the big two. Electric as well, but it can be more neutral. So fire type Pokemon or like Drapeon, which is poison dark. So yeah, really fun team. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.